Okay guys, so I got some Unit 4 review material. I thought I would start there. Let's get started. So, dividing. No one's asked me this before, but obviously I'm going to pause the video and set this up. Okay, so I'm assuming they want you to do it with long division. It's very important that you do it this way. So basically, I'm going to always match up the leading term with, in this case, r plus 4. I'm dividing by r plus 4, this binomial over here, right? And so I know, for example, that if I do 9r times r, 9r squared times r, I get 9r cubed. You want both of these to be exactly the same sign, everything. Whatever different happens after that, it takes care of itself. I gotta do my distributive property, so I'm gonna do 9r squared times 4, which is 36r squared. Now comes the key point, guys. When I minus, I have to distribute the minus. Hopefully you saw what I did there. The 36 basically becomes a minus 36. Okay, so notice that 9r cubed minus 9r cubed is 0. We always want it to zero out here. Now here we will get a remainder about 99% of the time. 26 minus 36 is negative 10r squared. Now we're going to bring down to negative 46r. So it's like long division in elementary school, except now we're doing it with x's and r's or whatever. Now I start all over again. I'm going to match up this r now with the leading term, negative 10r squared. And that means I'm going to do negative 10r, because when I times that with r, got interrupted, what's new, right? So as I was saying, negative 10r, because negative 10r times this r over here will give me a negative 10r squared. See how these are exactly the same term, same exact sign. It's important that you match them up exactly. Now, we can't remember or can't forget to do negative 10r times a 4 as well. Always do distributive property. That would be a negative 40r. Now, when I minus, guys, do you agree this negative becomes a positive? And this negative becomes, or minus becomes a positive. Make sure you distribute that minus, distribute that negative. So notice here I have a positive now. And negative 10 plus 10 is 0. That has to cancel out correctly, guys. Here I have a remainder of negative 6r, right? What do I do now? I bring down to negative 32. And I'm going to start over one more time. I know negative 6 times with the r is negative 6r. See how I made these exactly the same again? Negative 6 times 4 is negative 24. Now watch carefully. When I minus, that becomes a plus. That becomes a plus. If that was already a plus, it would become a minus, right? But anyways, negative 32 plus 24 is negative 8. That is my remainder. Okay? And your teacher most likely is going to have you say plus negative 8 over your divisor r plus 4. And that's basically how long division is done. Now, to check this, guys, check this out. I actually plugged in over here. You see r plus 4 really is a root of negative 4, because negative 4 makes it 0. And I plugged in negative 4 into the equation. See how I got a remainder of negative 8, just like we got there. So that tells me most likely I didn't make any silly mistakes along the way. All right? But again, this is something that you could do. Just remember, whatever makes that 0 is the actual root that you're actually plugging into the function. But anyways, let's continue on. This one we're adding with different denominators. The first step, guys, is you got to make sure your denominators are factored. So in this case, I'm going to do a 2x factor, GCF. That leaves me at x minus 2. Let me test it out. That's 2x squared. Good. That's minus 4x. Good. So I'm scribbling out, guys, because I have it here factored. Now, why do I want it factored again? Because that's going to help me find my common denominator. What is my common denominator? It's the combination of the 3 with the 2x with the x minus 2. Now, if you times that all together, guys, that's a 6x, x minus 2. Again, you just take each of the parts, times them, put them all together. All right? Okay, hopefully you could see what I did when I paused the video. I put my common denominator, multiplying both parts by my common denominator. Now, if you look over here, I'll go to purple. Notice the x minus 2 cancels out. 6x divided by 2x is 3. So I'm going to distribute that with x minus 4. So 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus 4 is minus 12. Now I'm going to go to green here. Notice over here in green, and by the way, there is a plus. Let's put the plus down. I know that 6x divided by 3 is a 2x. Now watch carefully, guys. I have a 2x times a 6, which is 12x, and that's still times x minus 2. So we're going to just do an extra step here and do our distributive property over here. So I have 3x minus 12 plus, here I'm going to distribute, get 12x squared. Right there I'm going to get minus 24x. That's all over 6x times x minus 2. Let's combine some like terms. Let me kind of scroll up here. So 3x and minus 24x is negative 21x minus 12 plus 12x squared all over 6x times x minus 2. Now, if I look at all my numbers carefully, guys, do you see how I can divide all the numbers here by 3? So I'm going to divide by 3, okay? That divided by 3 gives me a negative 7x. That divided by 3 gives me a negative 4. That divided by 3 gives me a positive 4x squared all over. That divided by 3 gives me a 2x. Now they have no numbers in common or common factors. That I'm pretty sure I can't factor it. I'm just going to rearrange it. 4x squared minus 7x minus 4 over 2x times x minus 2. That should be the correct answer, guys. I'm pretty sure there's nothing else we can simplify there. All right. I think I have one more that we need to do here. Again, what's the first step? This one's a minus now. We have to be careful of that darn minus. Okay. But we're going to factor our denominator here, right? This one can't be factored. I'm going to do a 6r GCF, right? That leaves me r plus 2. Now, what is my common denominator? It's the combination of all my factored pieces, right? So I'm going to times that 2 and 6 together. That's 12r, r plus 2. Now, as you can see, I'm going to multiply both parts by the common denominator, 12r, r plus 2. All right, let's see what happens here. Over here, 12r divided by 2 is 6r. So I'm left with 6r times r plus 2. There's a minus. I already have the minus there. All right, follow the purple. Over here, I know that 12r divided by 6r is simply a 2. The r plus 2's cancel out, So I have a 2 times r plus 1. This is already canceled out because I had it factored there, right? So I have a 2 times r plus 1. All right, let's do a little distributive property here. Matter of fact, let me just come up here. So I have right here 6r squared plus 12r. Now guys, I'm going to distribute the 2 and the minus together. Minus 2r minus 2 over 12r, r plus 2. Now guys, let's do a little combining like terms. 6r squared. The 12 minus 2 is 10r minus 2 over 12r, r plus 2. If you look at all the numbers, guys, they're all even, which means I can divide by 2. So 6 divided by 2 is 3r squared. 10 divided by 2 is a 5r. 2 divided by 2 is a minus 1 over 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 6r, r plus 2. And I'm pretty sure this numerator can't be factored further. And there's nothing else I can simplify, numerically at least. So that should be our answer. Now guys, I could have done it slightly different, by the way. Use a different common denominator. But again, the only way you get good at it like me is you just got to practice them. Practice, 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 guys. Anyways, guys, that concludes this part of the video. This is part 2. I'll see you around.